that carries so much lineage and history with it. Njambi, do not let them mispronounce or spell your name wrong. 12, you are queen. Honor yourself. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for that. Wow. I did not even know you were going to hit me hard.
You gotta be ready.
Damn. You don't slap me up my dome. You already just now tuning in Pink Talks right here on Hydra ID NYC. We're with the goddess Njambi. That's why you heard her say, do not mispronounce her name. Now that you know it's Njambi, say it right.
And spell it right too.
Spell it right. Indeed.
Yeah.
With that being said, I want to ask you a question. And it's about your background. Tell me, where were you born? And how did the transition from where you were born to where you are today, how does that affect your craft?
All right. So this is one of my favorite ones to tell. So I was born in London. My mother is Kenyan, and we moved back to Kenya. So I was raised in Nairobi. My grandmother is a Kikuyu goddess. The Kikuyus are a tribe in Kenya. So we have different tribes in Kenya. And my grandmother raised me with a lot of culture, a lot of pride. I'm named after her because Njambi is a name that's passed down to me from her. And it means like goddess of the water, it means warrior woman. And so having all of that and then moving back to London for middle school, the transition was interesting because, of course, when you're young and you're growing up, of course you're Kenyan, but at the same time you're mixed race. You know what I mean? So it was always kind of like make sure no matter where you go, you understand that your basis is you're Kenyan, and that's what my grandmother instilled in us. So when I moved to London, it was kind of like, oh no, you're mixed race actually, so you know you're biracial. Then I came to New York. I moved to Flatbush, Brooklyn.
Hey, Flatbush.
Big up all my Flatbush people. I went to Flatbush, Brooklyn for high school, and that was when I realized that like race and politics in America is completely separate from the rest of the world. And that's when I started really understanding, just like race and how it pertains to like growing up, if that makes sense. So for me, of course, I'm mixed race, but I'm deeply, deeply rooted in my African roots, right? And having grown up with my mom, of course, and my mother's side of the family, I'm always gonna rep for that, So I would say that's how it affected me. And everything that I talk about actually is pertaining to being mixed race, to being a woman, to, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I think the story is such an interesting one, not just because it's me, but you don't hear that every day. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah.
And you're absolutely right. I believe that in the American society, because that's what I'm most fluent in understanding in social communication, I realized that being a woman, being a brown-skinned woman, with part of the African diaspora, that they're always, they being the society that we're also included in, some extent, there's always some sort of separation. And when it becomes effective to your art, to your craft, sometimes some people can be discouraged, or they can use it. And based on your poetry that you performed for us just now, it shows us that you turned it into strength. How often are you experiencing that? Like having to turn your circumstances and become stronger out of it?
I would say it's every day, honestly, every single day. I remember Lucille Clifton said, come celebrate with me every day that something has tried to kill me and has failed, And literally, like, that is something that I take with me each and every single day, because if it's not somebody questioning you or question me on my blackness. They're saying I'm not black enough, or you're white. You know what I mean? It's every single day, or it's being a woman, or it's race, or it's poverty. You know what I mean? So for me, I see my poetry and I see my writing as a gateway to honoring myself and honoring my experience for people who are going through similar situations, you know?
Yes.
But it is with every single day. There's not a day that I get a break.
Wow.
So, yeah.
With that being said, do you have another piece for us you'd like to hear?
Yes. Speaking of every day, I know there's a couple of people in here. Shout out to my people in here. I know they love this one. This is one that's very, very dear to me, very close to my heart. All right. Hey, yo, ma. Hey, yo, shorty. Yo, light skin. You don't see me trying to talk to you? Oh, so you just gonna walk past me looking how you looking? Oh, I. Yo, you ugly anyway. I'm often quiet in places where I should be loud. Said I'm often quiet in places where I should be loud. You see, women like me know three things intimately. I said women like me know three things intimately. It's fight, flight, freeze. I said it, fight, flight, freeze. And my grandmother ain't raised no fool, you know. Leo, wadi nako America do kari gana wani ke doke mane wai gwa when ne motumia wa mo ngane wai gwa. I'm trying, grandma. I'm trying with all my might, but it's like my crown is so heavy most days. It's like the world got a problem with the way I love myself. It's like the world got a problem with the way Black women love themselves, loudly, proudly, unapologetically, and I'll be damned. And I'll be damned if somebody's son try to make me no do-rag, no pit stop, no box spring, thinking my life is an audition to be his wife. No. Take a good look at me. I bleed with the moon every month. Sacred woman. Like everything living don't be inside me. I said, take a good look at me. I said, everything living comes from within me. Thank you. Thank you, y'all.
Ooh, I ain't about you sooner. That was amazing. Thank you. Wow, if you're just now tuning in, this is Pink Talks, but you want to only got us here, Rebel Jones, and you know it wouldn't be me if I shout y'all out. Definitely want to engage with the audience more. That was Njambi. She just dropped some beautiful jewels on our feet by our feet. Ooh, pick them up, pick them up, pick them up. Ooh, thank you, Njambi. Tell me, when was the first time you even sat down and wrote a piece of poetry?
Wow. You know, I would say it was middle school, around 7th grade, right? So back home in Kenya, shout out to all my Kenyans in here, you know, and possibly in the Caribbean too, because I know this is a thing, right? You know, the lights used to go out a lot, so they used to cut our lights up, and we used to tell stories in the dark with candles. And I remember, like, my stories were so vivid. Like, I just would go the extra mile all the time. And when I was in school, I would always tell extra stories for English. Like, if my teacher was like 5 pages, I'm coming in with 10 pages, right? So when I was in 7th grade, my teacher was like, you should start writing poetry. Like, I think you're really good at this. You're really good at telling stories. And I was like, poetry? What? You know, and so what happened was I took that and I went home and I started journaling first. And I was like, all right, I'm going to write everything that's happening, you know, because I feel like I'm alone and maybe nobody's going through this, you know. And then I wrote my first piece in 7th grade, and I've never looked back since, you know, and I'm a huge hip hop fan. And I think there's so much poetry in hip hop. And so I saw that and I was like, wait, I can do this too. So yeah, 7th grade was the first time I really was like, I can do this.
Wow, 7th grade, the 7th grade.
Throwback. That's a throwback, man. That was like back in the day.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, as a female artist,
Hmm.
what has been, and if you don't mind, to people on Facebook as well, Facebook, the audience said that we're getting a good feedback, so if you could just turn your volume down on the Facebook, it'd be dope.
On the face. Okay. I just turned it down.
That's on my camera. Not sure.
Okay. We're back. We're back.
Yeah.
All right.
Sweet. So, what has it been like in the business aspect of your craft? Like performing, getting on stage, and making sure that people not only pronounce your name right, but that they present you properly and that whatever is going on in the crowd is prepared for you. What has been some of the, I guess my question is, what has been some of the struggles that you've faced as a female poet?
Oh, that's a good one. The thing is, I think all across the board, being a woman and being an artist, we face a lot of, I want to say like, oh, this is not serious. This is just like, that's the cute little spoken word thing you do. And it's like, no, like I'm a legit artist. You know what I mean? And so it's been hard to kind of tell people like, no, this is legit and you should respect me in my craft, and also getting paid for shows has been really, really difficult. I think a lot of people fund for musicians, but there's not as many funds for spoken word artists. We're trying to change that now, but funding is difficult. And also, sometimes like with my poetry, it will be like, oh, you're man bashing or you're doing this and you're doing that. But then for me, it's like, this is my story and this is my truth. So y'all gonna hear it.
Indeed.
That's how I come. That's how I come at it.
Yes.
But it's definitely difficult for sure.
Okay. How have you been maintaining your mental health? And so it's out of the way because you're an artist, and so I hear a lot of people just in any craft, whether it's fine arts or poetry, that's like, hey, I'm hitting a wall because I'm not inspired by my everyday daily life on the outside. I'm kind of stuck in home, facing whatever challenges I've been avoiding, and I haven't been able to get creative the way I'm used to. So how have you been able to use your art to help you with your mental health?
That's a really, really good question, and I'm happy that you asked that one, actually. So I recharge a lot. I take days where I recharge, rest. I'm queen of the nap. I like to take naps. And I'm really a big advocate of, I know it sounds crazy, but if you are not in a space to spit what poem you're spitting, if you are a poet or a musician, whatever art or craft that you're doing, you do not have to. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to say, hey, like I have another catalog, and so today this is what I'm going to give you, as opposed to like forcing yourself to go back into that space. So that's what I do, as well as like a lot of face masks. I love face masks. They like help me wind down. And spending time with people who make you feel like sunshine, who just like bring the best out of you is super important for mental health. And that's what I do. And I love dancing and I hula hoop.
Yeah, hey. Little wind up.
Yep. You got to do it.
Yes. Well, this time I definitely want to take some questions from our guests. So those of you that are watching, definitely let's ask Njambi some questions. Let's ask her all the questions you might have in your mind. Even requests if you guys know some of her poetry, you might want to get her to, perform something sweet for us. So go ahead, definitely. If you're just now tuned in, it is Pink Talks with your one only goddess, Rebel Jones, your hostess with the mostest, and the beautiful goddess here, Njambi.
Yes, and I want to take the time to shout out Find Your Idea and Human Mind for always making space for women of color, especially, and just doing it. I've always felt like I was part of the community. I've always felt like I was family, and you've always given me space to be myself. So thank you.
Yes. Shout out to Find Your Idea and YC Pink Talks. We're ready here. We have a question. Oh, this is to everyone from Wrath. How are you all maintaining your mental health? Yes, definitely drop what you're doing to maintain your mental health. Someone
Mm-hmm.
said yes, face mask. Ha ha ha, face mask underscore QURATT. I don't want to say that wrong, so I had to spell it out. If you're just not joining in, it's your one only goddess here, Rebel Jones, and my camera keeps switching around. Boom, here I am. What's up?
Back in the building.
Yes, and she's just spit some wonderful poetry with us, and she's going to continue for the rest of the night. But we have more questions, but we're waiting for our beautiful people over here viewing us. Ask your questions. Let us know what you think. Drop a smiley face if you're feeling poetry, you're feeling interviews. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We're also right now live on Facebook. Find your ID NYC. So make sure you also tell your family and friends to tune in on Facebook. Any questions? Any questions before we move on?
I see someone asking us. You missed that speaking Swahili earlier.
Huh? Something. Can you teach me something?
I could take. What do you want to learn? Which would?
I want to learn maybe a prayer. Is there like a prayer we can say in Swahili?
Absolutely. All right. Alrighty. So
Mungu.
Najua unaniona.
Najua unaniona.
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 Nataka. Kuwa. Na baraka zako.
Na baraka zako.
Asante. Amen.
So, what do we say?
So God, I see you, and I see what you do for others. I pray that you continue to bless me. Thank you.
That's
so asante is thank you.
Asante is thank you.
Asante
is thank you in Swahili.
Oh, here, there's some questions. Okay.
Yes, more questions.
All right, y'all come in.
Okay, here we go. At Shaz the Photo G asks, if you could invite 3 people to your dinner table, who are you eating with, dead or alive? Oh, that's a good
one. Ooh. 3 people to my dinner table right now, dead or alive. I would have to say Rihanna. I would love to sit with her. I think in my mind, she's so inspiring. She's a homie. And I would like to talk business with her. She's like a business mogul, you know?
She is.
Ooh, that's a really good one. Y'all put me on the spot here. Right now, currently though, where my state of mind is, so we have Rihanna. I would definitely invite Issa Rae because I want to network with her. I would like to talk to her about being a multidisciplinary artist. See, I'm thinking about future collab maybe. If you're watching this, holla at me, Issa. You feel me?
Make sure you forward this to Rihanna at Bad Girl Riri. We all follow her.
Y'all. Bad Girl Riri and Issa.
Come on.
I would have to say that. Let me see. I would want to see where, I want to pick Jadena's brain because I want to see where his brain is at. I think for me, I was telling my roommate this the other day actually. So we're both mixed race. He's Nigerian and Pakistani. So I want to see what that looks like because I don't have a lot of this community. So I would definitely want to pick his brain, and I think he's fine. So if you're watching this, let's connect.
Hey, yes.
Definitely. That's a good question, though. Ooh, you got me on the spot.
Right, I like that one. I definitely love the Rihanna one for like mogul, and Jadena definitely for like just insight in business and culture. That's dope. We have I Jones, New York with us. What up, Imani?
What's up?
She asks, what platforms do you recommend for poets looking to build their brands in NYC? Good question.
Ooh. So unfortunately outside is not open, but if it was, I would definitely say the open mics that are the New York Poets Cafe, shout out to them. They're like home for me. That's in the Lower East Side. They've been doing their thing. There's the Bowery Poetry Club. There's so many different places where there's open mics and you can start a community. Pink NYC.
Yes.
But and but that's outside. But then inside, I would say Instagram is a really good platform. Hashtag away. Don't feel like you're not like. There's no such thing as too many hashtags. Don't worry about what people are saying. I would say Instagram. I would say Twitter as well. One of my poems was taken from Instagram and put on Twitter, and it was like going around Kenya. So don't ever underestimate the power of that. You know, I would say even like TikTok. Somebody told me the other day that TikTok, you know, it's a quick like minute thing. Anything where you can really like showcase yourself on these digital platforms, go for it. And YouTube, of course. YouTube is a huge one.
Yeah, YouTube.
That's the one I would say to start with. But I would definitely recommend Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
Absolutely. And definitely during this quarantine, everyone, make use of what you have. The mentality of abundance is that I have everything that I need. And become more aware of your surroundings, and you'll notice what you have and just invest that in yourself. You know, outside of just looking good, be good and invest your money into being good. Get the tools that you need, aka solar rituals, got the plug, and make sure that you get your tools and create what you by using what you have around you and share with family and friends. There are apps like Zoom. You have IG Live, you can video chat on Instagram. Get your inner circle to see that you're serious about your craft, that you enjoy and you're passionate about it, and have them add people to what you're doing and share it with them. My mentor always said, if you can't contact at least 5 people in your phone to give you $5 and you really need it, then you need to take them out your contacts. And I thought that was harsh when I was 18, but at 27, I totally understand. Totally. So definitely, that was great advice, Njambi. Let's see. More questions. Do you come up with poetry on the spot, or do you write beforehand?
So most of it is written beforehand, just because I like to go on there and look prepared. But however, sometimes like spirit will call me, and it will just be like a story. So it depends. I want to say like 90% is written and 10% is freestyle. Because when you're telling stories, sometimes things come to your mind. I'm working more on freestyling, so who knows? When we outside, you might see me freestyling.
I have a question. Do you know the different types of poetry? And if so, can you share with us those different types?
Absolutely. So there's it's a lot, y'all. But the more popular ones are like so we have sonnet, which is like what Shakespeare used to do. Like it's like a love, kind of like a love poem. So that would be like a sonnet. And then we have haikus, which is like super popular, and that's what I use with kids actually. So it's like a 5-7-5. So you want to start. It's like a 5-syllable, 7-syllable, 5-syllable.
Right.
And then there's prose. Prose poetry is like the long, like more like short story kind of. So you're doing more depth. What else? We have so many. There's so many. But
know a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say free write is my favorite. You know, and I always encourage people to start from free writing because people get stuck. Because you say, okay, write a poem, but you can literally start with a free write that can turn into a poem, and that's what a lot of us do.
Right.
Is we start by free writing and then edit, and then it comes into a poem. So yeah, I love free writing.
Me too. I do a lot of free writing myself.
Yeah.
Yes,
Isn't it? It's super therapeutic. That's another way to like help with your mental health, especially in these times.
Yeah, it's considered journaling, and I enjoy journaling a lot. I've been journaling for a really, really long time. So I definitely can relate. We also have another question. Girl, sis, I'm going to spell it out because I do not want to pronounce this wrong. So _QURATT. Definitely my first answer is one. There was a question. Will you be making a YouTube channel? Or a website?
Yes. Yes, both. I think it's super important, especially now. Currently waiting for a selfie ring. I ordered one, so and I'm seeing that you're glowing in this light, and it's so important, and I love it. And the angles, you see, just goddess things all around,
All day, all day.
all day. And you know, I've been waiting, and a lot of people on here have known me for a while. I've been waiting for that perfect time. I just want to say for myself and everyone out there who's waiting for a perfect time, there's no perfect time. So the answer is yes. I will be starting a YouTube page. Yes, I will be starting a website. Soon to come. And y'all
You heard it here, exclusive Pink Talks with Rebel Jones. Find your ID NYC. If you just now tuning in, we here with Njambi. That's right. The end is silent, so get it right, because she's not playing no games. The poet is in the building. The goddess is in the building. So outside of, and then we have to close out the interview after this, but I definitely want to ask you, in terms of being a poet and delivering your content to people, when it becomes a high demand, how do you deal with the pressure?
Ooh, that's a good one. If, for example, if I put out one piece and it becomes like high demand, I usually step away from that piece for a second, like give it time to breathe. For like usually the internet takes like 2 to 3 days to let something breathe, and then I come back to it so that I can become more consistent and kind of like stay, because you gotta strike while the pan is hot, you know. But you still want to give yourself space to be like, okay, this is where I'm at, you know. So I let it sit for like 2, 3 days, and then I come back and I call my friends and I'm like, yo, y'all, what do you think? Da, da, da. And my friends are really good at like soundboarding, so thank you, y'all, for being there for me. I come up with crazy ideas all the time, and they're like, yeah, that's fine, do it, you know. But yeah, it's definitely important to stay grounded, especially when it's in high demand.
Yes.
You know, yeah.
So before we
These are good questions.
Thank you, because you know it's the one only goddess Rebel Jones, and I'm here to slay. I'm not gonna say the B word because I'm refraining to saying that, but I came to slay. Okay, so all the people who are out there sending out negative energy, I'm gonna send y'all some love and some comfort and some hugs, because I know that that's just love and a lower energy, and it's all good. It's all good. It's all gonna work out for our good. Believe that. Believe that.
Yes. Amen.
Njambi, please close us out with some dope poetry. Feed our souls, sis. Feed our souls.
Ooh, okay. So I gotta do this one real quick for y'all before I click out, because at the end of the day, you know, I'm Kenyan.
Let's go.
I'm also from South London, but I'm also from Brooklyn.
Say what? Say what?
Brooklyn.
Say what? Say what?
Brooklyn.
Say what? Say what?
Brooklyn. Yo, I'm so Brooklyn. Flat with mommy with the fat punani. Flow so tight, you thought I spoke Fulani. I'm coming at y'all, no games, Serrani. See, I'm so Brooklyn. Let me rock hot food with the stamps. I'm so Brooklyn. It's F the MTA. It's Dollar Van, Utica, Church Avenue, Kings Plaza. I'm so Brooklyn. A late night stumble peppers, jerk chicken with a festival on this side. I'm so Brooklyn. Met him at Woodland, took him home and rode him like a cyclone. I'm so Brooklyn. No matter where I go, Luna Park will always be Astro Land to me. I'm so Brooklyn. I'm so Brooklyn. I know the difference between a Trini and a Guyanese accent. Said, I'm so Brooklyn, I make a rainbow look like couture. I'm so Brooklyn, swagger so mean. No matter where you go, you will never find a Brooklyn girl.
Ooh. So Brooklyn, baby, you heard that?
Gotta end it with that. One time for my Flatbush posse. I haven't spit that in a while, so, you know, but it's always Brooklyn.
Always. One time for the one time. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking this opportunity to promote yourself. Do you have any new content coming out before we go real quick? I want to plug you in.
I do. It's gonna be in the link in my bio too. I'm working on it. A lot of people on here, it's the first time they're hearing this. My friends will be excited. You can follow me at Njamba NJAMBA_juice. I type it up here. And look out for that. I'm gonna finally put out my work. It's gonna be amazing.
Yes,
So,
it is. Once again, it's your fine NYC Pink Talks Rebel Jones, and that was the one and only goddess Njambi. Make sure you go follow her ASAP. Go check out her content. It's worthwhile for sure. Peace, sis. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Asante.
Take care.
Thank you. I will.
Oh, and y'all stick around for the next artist. Let's show her some love as well, okay?
Yes, Carrie. Yes. Turn up.
Yes, Carrie.
Let's go. You heard it right here. First, we live. Find your ID NYC Pink Talks with the only one goddess. Stay tuned. We have another artist coming in. Indeed, Carrie, when you ready, sis. Send that request. We ready for you, babe. We ready for you. What's up, y'all? Stay tuned. I see my sisters in the building. What up, Njambi? What up, girl? Hey, girl. So I've been saying Njambi, but it's Njambi. So what up, sis? Now I know. That was Njambi on the motherfucking live. You're Brooklyn. You already know we in here. Shout out to the all 5 boroughs. Shout out to the entire universe. Shout out to the whole world. I hope y'all staying healthy. I hope y'all living up on yourselves, living up on your family. I hope y'all making solutions and not problems. You heard? We waiting for Carrie, the next artist, to come through. Carrie, what's up, baby girl? I see you. You ready? Hi, Carrie.
Not problems. You heard?
If you have family and friends on Facebook, make sure you tune in on Facebook at Find Your ID NYC. We're definitely going live there as well.
If you have family and friends on Facebook, make sure you tune in on Facebook at Find Your ID. But that's
Hi.
Hello, greetings.
Hi. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you.
As well. Hi, greetings. So, like I said, she find your ID NYC. We want to guys to Rebel Jones tonight. We have Carrie on the live. Carrie, are you ready to perform live for us? Because the audience has been waiting all night.
Oh, sure. I didn't know. A poem?
A poem.
You want a poem?
Give us your soul, Carrie.
Oh, sure. I wasn't thinking about a song. I didn't do my guitar, but I can definitely do start out with a poem.
Yes.
So here's one that I just wrote for New York during this time that actually is becoming a song. So connections made throughout the beams. Stardust bursting at the seams. How are you? Doesn't sound so bad. We already know we're both sad. Those on the front lines, for you we sang, clapping and cheering every night at 7 p.m. New York is a fighter. She'll make you burn brighter. We may be knocked down and given a test, but only to transform to our best. With her we will stand. With her we will protect. New York is a fighter. She'll make you burn brighter. One arm in the air, a flame welcoming us. Lady Liberty stands true. The people are her crown. We will always stand up after falling down.
Wow. We needed that. Carrie. A reminder to all my New Yorkers, to all the natives of New York, to remember to stand strong.
A reminder
Thank you for that empowerment, Carrie. Yes. For all those of you just tuned in, we're here at Pink NYC Talks, and I'm your host, Rebel Jones, and we're here with Carrie. Carrie, can you share with us? It's loading up, so give her a minute. Give her a minute.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, love.
Oh, sorry, cut out for a second.
Audience, please do feel free to engage.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Okay, I'm back. I don't know what happened. Can you see me now?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can hear
Awesome.
So you got the whole
Carrie,
poem, though,
can you
right?
tell us more about your background?
Yes, we did.
Oh, sure.
Yes, we did.
So about yeah, so I started out as a primarily visual artist. I've been doing that ever since I can remember. And then I think I started writing poetry probably about 10 years ago, and then picked up a guitar for the first time 4 years ago. So they started becoming songs then, but pretty much always began with poems. And then I started doing new media XR art two and a half years ago. So yeah, but they're all kind of
yes. And how do you connect? Because I know that you're a multidisciplinary artist. How do you make it work for you?
So I think every day is different, but I have synesthesia, so like where I'll be like working on a painting and then a full poem will come out like from in the middle of when I'm painting, and then the same thing will happen like when I'm writing a song or something. Like I'll have really strong color associations or images like from playing. So it sort of seems to. I think when we think about limitations in terms of time, people think like, well, they must all be competing for resources in a way, like in your brain or something. But for me, it always feels like more creativity begets more creativity, if that makes sense. Like,
that definitely makes sense. I totally get it as a producer, a poet, and a mom. I find ways to make it work.
I don't have kids, but I've heard they make you even more creative.
Indeed, I've become more creative with my hands. So I make candles now, ritual candles for like altars and such. So I absolutely can attest to that. It definitely makes you more creative. Tell me more about your background. What was it like when you first performed your piece of art?
Oh, for music?
For music.
I was I was so nervous because I never performed music before, and I also had been told by some exes and things that I was not a real musician. And so it made me like very nervous, and but I mean, I think the audience was really, really wonderful, and it was a acoustic performance, and I dropped my only pick inside the guitar, and we come out, and then this angel from the audience came up and handed me a pick, and so now I always like stick them in my bra or something, and like just have to like show them around like in case that happens. But like I'll never forget that. It was just like it was just like so sweet, like just somebody like up from here's but then I think I still get nervous, but I think that kind of goes away as it becomes more just like about you being like your pure art form, and it being more about like you and an expression of yourself, I think.
That constant development, and when it's your destiny, everything that you need comes to you, for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what has it been like as a female artist that has dabbled in all types of arts? How have you been able to push your way through obstacles?
Well, I know the poet right before me, I mean, she touched on it a bit. I mean, there definitely are a lot of challenges as a female performer. I think one of the things that I like about poetry existing, like you're saying on Instagram or on Twitter, like when you have something that's just written, or like a painting or something that's just written, it totally, in a way, it removes like the way you look. It removes, like when you're performing a song, like that's sort of part of the package. But like I love that. I feel like the one of the best insults I've gotten was a poem that I posted, and someone was like, "There's no way that a woman wrote that." Like, I know, right? Like I'm like, and I get that a lot. And then it's the same thing with my paintings. Like when I had my first show when I was like in my early 20s, and the questions that I got the most were like, "Oh, so did you pose for the artist?" And I was like, "No, I am the artist." And then I remember somebody being like, "Yeah, I know." And then I remember somebody being like, "Oh, really? Because they look like paintings of a middle-aged man." And so I realized that what they meant was that they meant that it was like a compliment. They meant it as a compliment that like an older man's work must be better somehow than like a young one or something, you know. So and it's like I really,
even if that was a compliment, the fact that you have to decode it doesn't really make it a compliment.
What? So yeah, so that's like I actually started doing, after all that, I started doing a lot of live painting because I realized that it was very difficult for people to imagine me as the creator. And then I also kind of started doing that, realizing that for like young girls or girls that are interested in art, it's the same thing. Like if they see somebody that looks like them that is, you know, creating this, then they're like, oh wait, I could do that. But then in their mind, if they just imagine like, oh, that was, you know, a man, maybe a man that wrote that or that painted that, you know. So that's why I think like the things like that Find Your ID is doing, and like, you know, really making sure that we have to be loud and support other female artists, and like you can't be modest about it. You know, like you kind of have to be like, I made this, and I'd say that's probably one of the most frustrating things with music, anyways, is that I found that if I perform with one male, if there's one man, like let's say he's playing guitar, I wrote the whole song, I wrote the lyrics, I wrote the arrangements, I'm singing and playing the guitar, and then there's like, you know, he's playing guitar or bass or something. Then after the show, people will come up to him and say, "What a great song you wrote! I really liked this song you wrote." Yeah, and like, and girls do it too. It's like people just assume like if they see like, you know, a group or two people, and if there's one guy on the stage, automatically he's the songwriter. Like if it's an original song, like automatically, you know. So I found I have to get up there and be like oh,
own that shit.
Yeah, like so when I wrote this song, like in 2017 or whatever, you know, I have to say it, but people, 99% of people, it's weird. Like most people will think that. And like I said, it's really not about me getting credit. Is there being like other, you know, young women that might see that and be like, oh, she did that. I could do that too. Like if she did it, I can do it. You know, but if they just go around assuming that like, oh, the guy in the group did everything. So it was a long answer, but
no, that was a great answer because I definitely resonate with it. I am 1 out of 3 of a music group called the New G's, and it's mostly family. And as much as I love my brothers, I don't want to be the only one standing out, but I also don't want to be hidden because I'm a female. I want to be seen. I want to be heard more than I want to be seen. And as a host, this beautiful face got to be seen every now and then. But I totally understand where you're coming from. But I'm glad that you own your art, that you can speak up for yourself, because I think that's extremely important as an artist, as a female artist, that you let people know, listen, yes, I have this amazing male counterpart, but I am too talented and capable of doing just as great as he is. And I want to say that it's sad that years on to right now, from the past to now, that we're still fighting for our voices to be heard. But what I love so much is that there are platforms like Find Your ID NYC and Pink Talks, such as right now, so we're able to come on this platform and express our art. With that being said, do you have another poem that you would be interested in sharing with us?
Oh, sure. I've got so many poems. So what's kind of interesting is reading back on some stuff I've written just the last few years. There's so many things that resonate more with people now than that did then. And I think that's, I mean, in a way, I think that's kind of cool. So here's one I wrote, I think at the end of last year. Through days of solitude, empathy arrived upon my emergence. To find peace with oneself is to really see others. For if a war resides within you, through what anguished lens shall you perceive the actions of others?
When did you write that poem, and what does it mean to you? What inspired you to write that?
Yeah, so I have a lot of health previously. I mean, I'm healthy now, but I've had a lot of health problems, and so I have a lot of poems about being isolated and being sick, and it's really interesting how that a lot of people that have maybe never had that experience before are having that experience now, the feeling of not being able to, leave, or, being ill. I mean, that's pretty much why I'm an artist, is because I grew up very sick, and there wasn't anything else that I could really do other than draw. And so I think that why it resonates is just because so many people are having that same experience now, and can maybe relate. And that's, one of the things that I think that maybe a positive that comes out of this is that I think that me being very, very ill as a child has made me more empathetic. I wrote some poems that I wrote about Syria, like in 2017, that when people read them now, they're like, wow, that's like about now, right? And I'm like, no, it's like, it's really interesting how it can like really take my favorite one I can share with you if you want.
Yeah.
That I don't know if I would say. Well, here I think you'll like this one.
Okay.
The present warmed the land, planting seeds for futures ground. The past asked, may I lay here too, along the side of future fruit. The present cried for past mistakes, and told him, only if you help us learn for future's sake.
The present, the past, and the future.
But yeah, I think just a lot of it is about, for me, like if I'm feeling, so this one, for example, I'll share this one with you real quick, but is about a time where I felt very, like I was really struggling, and felt really lost. And so I found myself just like writing something almost just to like comfort myself. And so sometimes I write it, but I'm almost like writing it like it's to someone else, even though it's like kind of writing. Did you have a moment bleeding from within when you were lost and found again? A hollow place filling the void. It was never empty, but a story yet foretold. Humble beginnings predict the end. We are all lost and found again.
I love how profound yet simple your delivery is. It really definitely I definitely like that when you write. I definitely like that.
Oh, good.
I like it all, honestly. It's very profound. And I love the tone of it as well. Now, in turn, your poetry is great. What is XR art, and how did you get started as a pioneer in XR art?
Oh, sure. So I was really fortunate to meet my now very good friend Nyan, who works for Njambi, which is how I first met your collaborators at PYNKTALKS. And he knew, this was about 2.5 years ago, and he knew that I had built an app for art, and also was familiar with my work. And so he was like, oh, you should come down and check out virtual real and augmented reality, and you can paint in VR and just check it out. And so I mean, I just was blown away. I spent like hours like in a headset the first time that I saw it, and then I've been really lucky to be collaborating and working with them on different projects for the last 2.5 years. So I've learned so much, but I think they're really supportive of artists. I've also just learned so much from just being in that environment. So like in there creating VR art on a headset where I'm not actively listening, but there's maybe like a developers meeting going on in like a room, or I kind of get to just hear some of, I feel like a lot of that I learned through osmosis, of like what I needed to learn. And I've been in quarantine, I've been studying C# coding and Unity design as something that if anybody is familiar with like Pokemon Go or like, so like the majority of video games are designed like using that platform. So I don't want to design a video game, but I want to like take the knowledge from that and basically like be able to create art that is more interactive. So there's not like a something you're supposed to experience, but like basically be able to create it so that like, you know, you do a different thing in the headset in my interactive art piece, and you have a different ending to your experience.
Billionaire status. She is a billionaire. Get your pens and notebooks. Get ready to take notes. Carrie is dropping jewels. Don't sleep on her, okay? Billionaire. I'm calling it into fruition. Billionaire stat. Carrie, when you're a billionaire, remember I was the first person to host you on Pink Talks. So not forget about me, sis. All right? Oh, okay.
I'm glad you're.
Just making sure.
I'm
I mean, that's really, sorry to cut you off. That's thinking big, and that's what we want our Pink audience to know, is that you can think big and you can live big. You don't only have to dream big, you can live big. Pick up an instrument, learn something new. We're here at Pink Talks with Carrie, and she's dropping jewels on how to become a billionaire. She's telling you, if you missed it, you have to tune in again. We'll be here on IG Live, but this is in the moment. This is the power that be, the portals of a woman. Carrie, billionaire thinking. I'm gonna just say congratulations in advance.
Thank you. No,
Yes.
you know, I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things where there's really not any money in like new media art right now, you know, like or VR AR. But it's something where, especially with I think being, like I said, growing up really sick, I'm constantly trying to think of ways to like, you know, what is a way that I can connect with somebody in a developing country that loves art and like is never gonna actually feel like he's a different person, and we're not gonna like be able to afford that. And so I think that's one of the things that's so cool about like augmented reality art and VR is like right now this thing I did in quarantine was I made a I'll send you the links so you can check it out, but like a augmented reality art piece where anybody can view anywhere from their smartphone in their living room, and it has like sound responsive brushstrokes to my original song. But so like anybody from anywhere that has a cell phone can just view it from the app, and it'll look like much like Pokemon Go, only it's a game, it's art, and it has a sound responsive like music element to it. But then you see your living room or backyard or where you are like is incorporated in that. And so I want to do that is like, and again, like I said, like, you know, maybe someday there will be, but like right now, it's definitely totally just like about the love of creation and about, you know, studying other genres like game design or something to inspire like different ways of thinking and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Taking us to the future, Zachrella 13 said. I want to take this moment to open up to the audience. Ask questions. Let us know what's on your mind. What would you like Carrie to answer? What are some of the things that you would like to know about Carrie? Let's open up to the audience. That's so awesome. Billionaire status. Carrie got me thinking. We're going to have to talk after this, girl. We're going to have to talk. I got some ideas for you. You might want to work with me.
Oh, there's one. What's your favorite way to inspire thought? That's a good one. I think that I have a anecdote on creativity that I think is my favorite. I think creativity is like a cat. If you go lunging right at it, it's probably gonna run away from you. But as soon as you're like paying attention to something else, or like on your laptop or whatever, you're doing something and you're totally not even thinking about that, then it's just gonna like come up and sit in your lap and be like, oh, like pay me attention. So that's what I think about like ideas or creativity, is that you have to be open to it and you can't be in a judgmental frame of mind, and but you also can't be like looking directly for it. So that's why I think that like cross platforms are really great, because you can be like, for me, it usually happens when I'm doing something else. So like if I'm not painting, not playing music, not writing, I'm probably not doing any of it. But as soon as I pick up a paintbrush or pick up a pen or whatever comes to me first, then there's probably going to be like 3 other things that like come out of it from that, because you're like not so focused on the one thing. And then I also feel like that it's also just doing it. Like I think that you know, sometimes the best art is just the people that just did it and they edited out later like 90% of the stuff that turned out to be like not so great, but they just, you know, kept coming back to it and doing, you know, just making, just like focusing on the creating and not on the judging until later.
Right. Just allowing it to flow and expressing it, and then going back to admire your own art. I definitely love that. All right, we have more questions. It's M Blanks 1296 asks, what's your favorite way to inspire thought? Like your favorite medium?
Oh, like my favorite medium. My favorite medium, gosh, it still has to be oil on linen. I love it. Will always be my favorite. Like it's I mean, I made a tiny little painting today. I'll probably post it later. But like I think because I've been doing painting and particularly oil for the longest, it just comes so I'm thinking less when I'm painting than when I'm watching TV. Like it's just like it's just like it's a complete and total like flow state. And then the oil, I don't know. I wish it wasn't my favorite because it is toxic. Whoever would have thought that oil painters would be like the most prepared for a pandemic? I've got like masks, I've got gloves. I used to be alone for like really long periods of time, totally alone, no one else around. So yeah, I got all the gloves, masks. But yeah, it's like it actually it. Oh wait, did we go out?
Oh, I can hear you. Our video ended. We're gonna go back on, Carrie. No worries.
I think we did. We.
I'm gonna go back on.
Okay.
I know that's just love. Whoever would have thought that oil painters would be like the most prepared
Oh, funny.
for a pandemic? Whoever would have thought that oil painters would be like.
Give me one moment.